Welcome back to the channel. Derek here with some Cardano market updates. First off, we're going to be talking about the CIP 1694 vote that we did a couple videos back. This is the first in its class in all of crypto, where we're really looking at what it's like to achieve true on-chain governance, which really equates to true decentralization. This cryptocurrency blockchain revolution that has been going on since Bitcoin is the new frontier of what we call decentralization, really. So everything that exists in the world today basically is centralized, whether it's a business or what have you. We live in a centralized world. And blockchain, cryptocurrency technology is paving the way for decentralization. So a big, massive protocol like Cardano, for instance, does not have a centralized agency of actors operating the protocol, okay? Making the decisions in the directions that the protocol should take, what should be implemented on the layer 1 or the layer 2. All these decisions as far as direction, the treasury, what to do with the treasury, all these decisions are to be, if you're going to call yourself truly decentralized, has to be distributed to the people. And so Cardano is really paving the way and pioneering this. So we voted in the first ever vote. It was a really wonderful historic vote. I hope that my video encouraged you to vote as well. And the votes are in. So we're going to kind of go through the process. I'll do it with you in real time. I have not checked in my own time. So I like to do these videos and share these experiences with you on camera. So you'll have to bear with me if we go through some hiccups along the way. But in those hiccups, if we do face them, hopefully they'll help you if you're experiencing the same situation that I might be when I'm interacting with these, Web3 applications and bridges and DEXs and Web3 applications. Okay, so what's next on the list? We're going to update the Dega protocol. Okay, this is something that I've been participating in as far as their ISPO. This is the initial stake pool offering. They have a really interesting initial stake pool offering, the Dega protocol, such that it is the first ever multi-chain ISPO. So they are doing an initial stake pool offering with multiple chains at the same time. Okay, Cardano was the first one, and Polygon and some others. Okay, so we participated on the Cardano side, delegating our stake to the Dega stake pool, and I put out a video about that, did an update, but they have a very special update that they have given out that I'll share with you. So it's kind of to show you the power of participating in, right, these projects that you think are doing positive things in the world that you love to be a part of. And sometimes wonderful surprises can come your way that aren't really told you in the beginning. They're not really expressed in the beginning. That can come your way later on. And what else? Genius Yield. Genius Yield is now launched. It's live. It's incredible. So I put a video out a couple weeks ago where we went through the testnet, where I took you through the Cardano Faucet website, where you can go ahead and get some test tokens, airdrops to your wallet or sent to your wallet. And then you can use those test tokens in the pre-prod mode when you are participating in a testnet that a protocol offers. And testnets are really powerful because it's exactly what it is. It's a testnet. You can interact with the DEX, the application, you could play around, and you're playing around with, in a sense, paper money. This is kind of like monopoly money or funny money. It's not money, it's not hard money like your real assets. And you can explore the DEX. And so we're going to check it out because it's now live. I've made a few trades just to memorialize some historic activity. As they begin, I like to make some participation measures on their first day, right? They're just starting out. It's very MVP right now with Genius Yield DEX. That means minimum viable product. So it's just starting. There is going to be many implementations and upgrades down the road to come, which is nice because, like for instance, MinSwap, another DEX, and Wing Riders, these other DEXs, ViFi, they are upgrading now to their V2, their version 2. So you go to MinSwap right now, you go to Wing Riders right now, you're going to be in their version 1 release. And what's cool about Genius Yield is that they are, in a sense, launched right now on Mainnet with the version 2. What I mean by that is, when MinSwap moves from version 1 to version 2, essentially they're upgrading their smart contracts to Plutus. They're upgrading the Plutus smart contracts. Okay? And so is Wing Riders. And they're upgrading to this Plutus version 2. So it's going to be a lot different. And there's a lot of exciting videos that I'll put out that will go through looking at MinSwap when they come out with their version 2. But Genius Yield is launched in their mainnet here with those Plutus V2 smart contracts. Okay, and so we have a lot to discuss. There's probably other stuff. There's so many things happening right now in the space. It's impossible for me to cover everything. And so I wish I had more time to spend doing these updates, because there's so much that happens and so much that's always going on. If you want more intimate correspondence with me and what we do here at Crypto Fluency, you can come into my contact form, and that will send me an email. Through that contact form, we'll get together. I always respond and talk to people one-on-one. I'm always happy to hear questions and interviews that people have. And there's also events that I can host through Zoom and other avenues where it's not necessarily here on YouTube, where we can talk more strategy and more about the overall scope and landscape of Cardano and what they're doing. Like, we just were involved in getting into the Palm ISPO through Maestro. I did put a video out about that. And unless you're really doing your own research, which is I always highly recommend you do, and you see value in the Palm mission with Zengate Global, then you might have delegated to that ISPO on the last epoch, like 2 epochs ago. But that's not something I'm sort of announcing, right? I'm actively doing things. So if you want more of that active play-by-play in real-time notifications about stuff I do, you can sign up to Crypto Fluency, right? And we'll make sure you won't miss a beat. Okay, so let's check out the first thing. Let's go to the Cardano improvement proposal website page, and we'll check the results together in real time. Okay, here we are, the governance for Cardano. I sort of left this open, and we're going to confirm. Okay, you need to check to see if you submitted your ballot. We're going to confirm that. Let's go to our ballot now. We will click the View Results tab, and here we go. All right. So the total number of ballot submissions. So there was 771 submissions. So if you are someone who has voted in this wonderful, historic Cardano vote, CIP 1694, cheers to you. Congratulations to you. You're one of the people who can go down in history as almost a founding member of the Cardano, the direction of Cardano, and its mission to achieve full decentralization and true on-chain governance. So right here, the answers to yes were 720. There was only 30 no's. 21 people abstained, and so it's 93.39% of the voters voting yes, and 3.8% said no, and you can read the rest of the chart there, right? We have the total ballot power. So out of those 771 votes, this equates to 111,728,105 ADA. Okay, so the voting power for the yays were 110 0.744335 million, and the no's were 148,000. And so yes, we voted yes in that video, as you saw. And so what a wonderful time it is for Cardano. It has come a long way through the Byron era, where basically just had a wallet, Daedalus. It had a roadmap and a wallet, and in a quite extensively long roadmap, I would say, that wasn't necessarily hitting the check marks of the time that the team thought it would take to accomplish certain goals. And a lot of people gave Cardano just like heavy negative commentary on that, thinking it was a scam, thinking it was a ghost chain. And I'm just sorry, those people did not spend the time to read all of the papers that Cardano was putting out. And they have put out hundreds of papers right now that you would stagger you and actually blow your mind a little bit to realize how much Cardano has contributed to this blockchain, cryptocurrency space overall. The innovations, and that's what I did. I read these papers from IOHK that explained Ouroboros, explained Plutus, explained so many aspects of what blockchain is and the technology and the UTXO model and what Bitcoin solved and what Ethereum did and what Cardano was seeking to do. And it really didn't have anything. It had a dream, it had a roadmap, and it had the best community of cryptographers, I would say computer scientists, mathematicians, that all came together and formed Cardano. And through that Byron era came all the hard fork combinator events, right? We had Shelley come out, the Mary hard fork, Alonzo hard fork. Here we are in the Voltaire. We're kind of experiencing the Basho and the Voltaire at the same time. Basho scaling, Voltaire governance. And here we are, right? This is a wonderful time. And if you're new to this channel and you're new to Cardano and you're new to what I'm showing you here, it's a really cool time to actually be here and sit and see this, because people are often like, oh my gosh, did I miss the opportunity? You know, am I late in the game? And the answer is absolutely not. You are not late to the game whatsoever. You are here. This is a beautiful time to be introduced to the Cardano ecosystem as one of the more trusted chains out there. I often hear Charles Hoskinson say they're going from don't be evil to cannot be evil, right? They're like, when you look at the Ethereum blockchain, it is a scammer and hackers playground. And that's just not the case here in the Cardano ecosystem, right? They're building really high quality technology, and it's wonderful for you and I to be a part of it. Okay, so that is the update here for the Cardano ballot. So go ahead and check the scoreboard here on that. And if you are not a part of Intersect, I would go to the Intersect website. If you just type in your browser Intersect Cardano, you will find the website to Intersect, and you could learn and inquire in how you can become one of the founding members of the Cardano ecosystem. Moving right along, the next update we are going to take a look at would be the Dega dashboard. The Dega rewards dashboard for the Cardano network. This is one of the greatest surprises that we could have ever seen in the space. This epic that just happened, they gave us all a holiday bonus. What Dega did for the participators in the ISPO who started from the beginning epic and have not undelegated their wallet, because some people do that, right? They start with a project and you begin to delegate, and you delegate for a few epics, and then you undelegate yourself, go somewhere else for a while, and then you come back and redelegate. You break this streak, right? That breaks the streak of your delegation, and therefore you will not gain these rewards. And so what Dega has done is they have taken all the rewards that you have accumulated so far through the stake pool, the initial stake pool offering. They've taken that amount and they have doubled it, and they have given you that doubled amount as an extra holiday bonus. So for instance, if you had 50,000 Dega rewards up until right now, this epoch, you would have gotten a holiday bonus that would have given you 100,000 Dega tokens. So your total rewards would be 150,000 tokens. There is really something unique about the Dega protocol and how it treats its community. The Discord is absolutely on fire. Their moderators, their team, it is one of the most robust communities with a positive exuberance. They're doing incredible work in the gaming space. Amongst many others, they're partnered with Cornucopias, they're partnered with Meld, they're partnered with, I'm hearing like EA Sports and things like this, and there's probably a lot that they can't discuss that will be wonderful to discover later on, especially if you're one that is participating in their protocol. Okay, so Dega is a fantastic protocol, and congratulations to all you initial stake pool delegators. It's very rare that you see projects giving so much to the community, okay? Because there's give and takes for all of those decisions, you know? And I'm sure it's difficult for any project, any protocol out there to really go through the painstaking process of understanding how you're going to treat the community, how are you going to grow, how are you going to scale. Okay, Dega is really setting another bar in its own right to what it's like to really care for your community, because the community they're essentially your army. They're your people going out there to work for you, to battle for you, to evangelize the message to others, to build their own implementations, to build along the side of Dega. Okay, whether it's an educator or a developer, or you can write for them. There's so much going out there with Dega. It's really, really powerful. And I just wanted to share that to you because these initial stake pool offerings are really unique in the sense that when you begin one of these and you stick it out and you can remain with like a streak, there are, in my experience, fantastic, unforeseen surprises that come your way as reward for the early adopters who have helped support from the very beginning. Okay, so that is the Dega update. Let's go on over to Genius Yield. Okay, so here we are on the Genius Yield website, back on the Genius Yield website, exactly how it looked before. And this right here is their mainnet, right? So the last video, we went to a testnet version, and now we're going to connect the wallet, go through the process of connecting the wallet and looking at the mainnet, okay? So you're gonna hit that connect the wallet. We're gonna connect our lease wallet, and we're gonna look at the upgrade. And it's gonna look, okay, so here right now what we are on is the earn category, and what you can do is you could stake, okay, your tokens, and you're gonna get these rewards, but we're gonna be looking at the swap feature. So as you can see, it looks just like it did on the testnet. And that's what you're gonna see when things come to mainnet. It's gonna be pretty much the same, and we'll continue to do update videos with Genius Yield as time goes on, because this, I will tell you right now, this is going to look different. This is a very MVP version of what this DEX is going to eventually, turn into. And so it's really awesome. And the UI here is phenomenal, right? It's not without its little delays and such like that, because they just launched. And congratulations to the Genius Yield team. All right, launching anything is so difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, this Genius Yield team has put together the first order book DEX in all of crypto, okay? So every single decentralized exchange out there is doing what they call a automated market maker DEX, an AMM DEX. We're not going to get into the weeds on what an AMM DEX is. Go ahead and search that in your bar. AMM DEX, automated market maker. You will not find another decentralized exchange that offers an order book, okay? And the brilliance behind Genius Yield And what they have created here is they have taken the power of Cardano and utilized that power to create an order book DEX using the UTXO model. See, AMM DEXs, automated market maker DEXs, were pioneered by Ethereum, and it works better for an account-based blockchain like Ethereum. Ethereum is an account-based chain similar to a bank where deposits and withdrawals get balanced in an account system setting. Bitcoin does not use that account-based setting. They use the unspent transaction output setting. That's the giant difference between Bitcoin and all of finance that exists, right? And that is the blockchain technology, and what Bitcoin pioneered and revolutionized was the brilliance of what these UTXOs are. And so when deposits and withdrawals are happening, the balance structure is different such that the tokens in your wallet act differently when you're sending and receiving than they do in an account-based model. And like I said earlier in the beginning about the IOHK papers, it is worth your weight in gold to go over there and read some of those papers because it explains at length what all of that means, okay? And if you're curious, type in your search bar difference between UTXO and account-based model. The beautiful thing with Cardano, why we really focus on Cardano, among many other things, is they pioneer something called the EUTXO, so the extended unspent transaction output model. And Lars Brunjes and the team over there at Genius Yield figured that all the AMM DEXs that are launching on Cardano have just taken what Ethereum pioneered and implemented it because they could here in the Cardano ecosystem. And the Genius Yield team felt that there was way more expressive capability that you could design within the Plutus framework. That is the smart contract language of Cardano. And you can create these order books. The order books are essentially UTXOs, okay? Now, that's probably as technical as I'm going to get right here. And you can go down that rabbit hole. And so here we are. We're at the swap where you can create a limit order and you can create a market order. If you want to create a limit order, you can look at the order book. And so here is the order book. It's really cool. We have to connect our wallet, okay? So we'll connect our wallet. We connected our Lace wallet. And you can buy. And like, see here, this person is selling 5,439 GENS tokens for this price, okay? For the price per ADA. So you can buy actually in a portion of those. Like I could buy 200 of these, right? And you can preview what that'll look like. It'll take you 142 ADA to acquire these 2 GENS tokens. And then you can place that order, okay? And then your wallet will pop up and you can place the order. You can also go ahead and sell, right? You can come down here and sell at the same time. You can go ahead and click that max button. You can sell 2 GENS for 2 ADA, okay? So that's like one way you can operate. I think that's really unique and nice, like how you can come in here and buy partial shares, okay? Okay, as a market maker, like if you're the person that's coming in here and putting these in there, that's actually really nice because people can come in and buy partial orders, and that's a limit order. So I think that's an interesting feature to being able to buy partial orders, sell partial orders with limit orders, where you have to set the actual prices. So this is a person here that is given up his GENS tokens, or her GEN tokens, and said that he or she wants to sell this amount of GENS tokens for that price of ADA. See how it's a little different from this price. And so this person says, well, yeah, I want to sell these GENS tokens at that price. And so in the middle is like an average of what the prices are. And so that is how you create these limit orders. You have to manually go in and do that. If you wanted something instantaneous, you can just click the market order and you can add whatever. You can say, I want to sell 100 GENS tokens right now. It's going to actually populate that price, and this is the GEN tokens you get. And boom, you click that order and it's going to pop up, and then you can go ahead and execute that order, signing your wallet. But when you're doing the limit order, if you want 100 of these ADAs, you're going to have to type in what GENs you want that to be. Okay, let's do a 0.65, let's say. Right? And that'll get me more of these GENS tokens. And so if you place this order, it's going to put it in the order book, right? And then 100 ADA will come out of your wallet and come into the order book, all right? And this is the price that will be set, and this is the ADA that you're going to have in the order book, and this is the amount of GENs that you can expect in return once this price gets met. Okay, and you can kind of place that order in preview, and it's just going to tell you this is exactly what you're asking. You're saying that you want this 100 ADA to eventually turn into 153 GENs. This is kind of like a smart contract, right? And here are the fees, and go ahead and place that order. It's going to populate that in your wallet will pop up, and you'll have to sign that order. Okay, and so here's some orders that I've already started with. I've kind of experimented with everything. So the first on day one, this is something I'm extremely proud of, just making a trade on day one. We took 3,500 ADA, right, minus the fee. And then we acquired this amount of GENS tokens at that price per ADA, okay? And then there was a fee. It's a hefty fee, not too crazy though, when there's a lot of things to factor when you're looking at this. And so again, it's something that you can do your own research about. And this right here was a market order, okay? It's a market order. And there's a unique aspect of GENS tokens as far as yield farming is concerned, that if you're staking GENS tokens in their vaults, you will share 20% of the rewards that come from trading on the DEX, okay? So all these rewards, these fees go into the treasury, and then 20% of those fees go to the community. And that's actually something unique in all of crypto as well. And so you can look at the transaction. And again, here's something that I did. I was playing with the limit orders, going 1-to-1, right? 5,000 GENs for 5,000 ADA at the price of 1 GENs. And so, right, you can see that the way that you trade, right, like I put 3,500 ADA there, you get around this many GENs, and then you could set this in the order book such that you take these GENs, bring them back here at that price, and you can actually acquire more ADA. This is definitely not financial advice. Nothing here is financial advice. That's why I recommend you go on the testnet. Go back on the testnet right now, because you could actually do this in real time in practice and set orders and go about your day and come back and check them. And you can cancel them, okay? So I got my GENS tokens that were charged to me as a fee back to my wallet because I canceled the order. So you're only paying that fee if the transaction goes through. Now this fee here gets charged for setting the order. So, okay, and that was same day. And then here was another order, another market order, okay, where I just took 1,000, brought it into the GENs. Again, the price is not as extremely important to me as most traders. Again, I'm not like a day trader whatsoever at all. I'm actively participating in Genius Yield to support them. I like participating from a support standpoint. I feel like I'm part of their ecosystem, although it's in a decentralized way, right? I have no ties to Genius Yield at all, or any of these projects, to be honest, or Cardano itself. But I feel the way that the decentralized model is such that you actually are a part of these projects if you decide to be, right? So it's not like, a centralized agency, you have to be You have to be like hired, right? And you have to go through a hiring process and be part of the team. This is something you could be a part of when you decide to, okay? So it's fun. You can check them out. And I've been following Genius Yield for a very long time. You can check my previous videos about that. And so here for fun, I created a limit order, okay? And this is still open, and I'm going to keep this open. I'm going to keep this open. I don't know if I'll ever close this out. Maybe the market will close this out for me sometime in the future, and we'll see. It's 12/16/2023. Okay, and so what I did here was I put up 1,000 gens in return for 100,000 ADA. Okay, because this is the gens price that I set. Now, it is just my belief that one day, maybe, I don't know, could be in the year 3000, where one gens tokens will equal 100 ADA, or vice versa, right? And so for every gens, you would be getting 100 ADA, okay? Now, do I think gens could go to 100 against the ADA? Yeah, that's why I put this order in here. But I'm not intending this to achieve itself or realize itself 4 years, 5 years, right? And that's what's cool. You could keep this in the order book for as long as you want, or cancel it at any time. Another beautiful part about creating your limit order is this advanced settings button. Okay, you can click advanced settings and you can actually have a time force in place where you can put literally the month, the day, the year, and the hours and the minutes where you want to start that order and where you want it to end. That is just really special. Okay, so like I said, this is a very early implementation of Genius Yield, but this is the mainnet, my friends. This is the mainnet right here. This testnet is still open. So if you are interested in that testnet, go back and check my video on the testnet and go through the process of participating in the testnet. And it's so nice that they left that up there, actually. And I think a big part of the reason they did leave it up is because you can practice, all right? You can practice. It's kind of tricky to wrap your mind around how all this works. Like, for instance, when you click this button and you go the other way, where gens versus ADA, it'll take you a while to understand how gens against the ADA looks, how ADA against the gens looks. Because the price of ADA is also against the dollar, right? So the ADA price is going up independently against the dollar, and that will determine its price against gens and vice versa. So this isn't something to just take lighthearted and throw and think you're going to sit here and, like, you know, be the next trading phenom, right? Most traders, I would say 99% of traders that come in here and feel like they can sit here and like scalp and make this incredible living trading, day trading, end up losing their money, okay? They end up losing their money. And so don't do that, right? Go on the testnet and play around and get humbled, get educated on the testnet for a while. You can use Genius Yield to come in and just, you know, get a few Genius tokens if you're thinking that this project is something that you align with. Okay, you can create a market order, you can catch some of the tokens, you can set a limit order and say, you know, I'd be comfortable getting some gens tokens at a certain price, okay? And then that's what's beautiful about this. You can literally set your price and forget it, okay? And you could be at work later on, or you could be at the grocery store later on, and you know, you can come home and look at it, and that transaction would have executed due to the standard of price that was met. Okay, so it's exciting. And earn, like I said, there are these vaults, but what's exciting is the yield farming is coming soon. And when that comes out, I'm going to do another video about the yield farming because it's really unique and different in all of crypto. It is not like yield farming that you might be familiar with on traditional AMM DEXs, okay? And if you're familiar with the yield farming over there on AMM DEXs, where you put 50-50 ratio of a token, of each token into a pool, and you're gonna get like some of those tokens in return, This is a lot different. And there's something to be said about the fact that they're called Genius Yield, right? And this whole concept of yield farming, right? From what I've heard, from what I've read, there was just an X space with Marvin and Lars. You should check that out. You can go on X and look at, just type in like Genius Yield X space with Lars and Marvin. And then there was a Zoom call that I was a part of this week that went into a little bit of what this yield farming is, and it's different, and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm excited. You can come over here and check you can explore your orders, and it's just nice to see that these pages are now live, because every single one of these pages had this coming soon, right? And now we get to actually see it, okay? So don't let Genius Yield pass you by without a good look of your own due diligence. Okay, Genius Yield has a lot to offer this space. And I think that they are going to do many things in the future of blockchain and how decentralized exchanges work. Okay, because there's a smart order router too. That's brilliant. So in Genius Yield, there's no slippage. That's huge. You can't even imagine that if you're in part of DeFi and these AMM DEXs, slippage is a friggin' part of it. Right? Not anymore with Genius Yield. They don't have slippage. They don't have impermanent loss because there's no ratio of tokens you're putting in. You're not providing liquidity anymore in that way. You're not providing token A and token B 50-50 equal parts, right? They're different sizes of tokens. Like you might have 100 ADA and 200 gens that you would have to put into a DEX because they equal the same value. And then what happens is if the price of ADA goes up, then you're constantly, the pool works such that it has to maintain a 50-50 ratio. So it's constantly selling the token that's going up in value in your pool, and you're gaining the other tokens to keep the ratio. And this is what impermanent loss is really. And so you have none of this in Genius Yield. The way that you provide your liquidity is you can create a limit order, and you provide that in the order book. And then if that price is met, then you get what you want. So that's really unique, because if it isn't met, nothing happens. You can get your ADA back, and you can set, you can like think about this a little further and go more advanced and say, well, I'll set an order where I think the price is going to go up. Because that's the thing, we don't know what the price is going to do. Even though we think that the price can go up, we have no idea. And that's the mistake traders make, investors make, is they think, oh, it's got to go up or it's got to go down. We're in a bear market or we're in a bull market. But you have no idea where these prices are going to go. And so to offset that with Genius Yield, you can set a limit order that's such that if the price goes up, your order will get triggered. You can also at the same time set an order below, right, the price. So if it goes down, your prices hit, and then you can like cancel that order that didn't happen and start the whole process over again. And it opens the world up to creative trading differently. And these smart order routers are a whole other thing because there's no need for batching, okay? And what that means is that in an AMM DEX, where all of the orders and the trades that go through and that need to keep this balance, there are these batchers. They call them batchers. SundaySwap calls them scoopers, but they're basically validators. They're batching the transactions, and you are kind of trusting them in a way. And then they execute they bundle these UTXOs, okay, and then batch these UTXOs together, and then this is how the AMMs work on the UTXO model. It's different how it works. It actually works cleaner in the Ethereum space because the AMM style DEX is more suited for an account-based model blockchain like Ethereum. So this is what Lars and Marvin and the team at Genius Yield wants to showcase, is the power of the Cardano UTXO model. And you can do a lot more with the UTXOs, and you eliminate these batchers, and they implement something called smart order routers. So if you want to create your own smart order router, you can, and there's documentation out there, open source. That's another thing. Everything that Genius Yield does, created, everything you see is all open source, and you can build your own smart order routers. And I'm sure people and projects are building their own smart order routers right now to compete against each other. And if you're like, what in the heck are you talking about with these SORs, these smart order routers? There's only one way to understand better than me telling you, would be to read the white paper, Genius Yield, and just search smart order routers, Genius Yield in your search bar, and boom, you're going to get a fantastic read. You could have a nice cup of tea or coffee and read what smart order routers are all about. Is there anything else? Of course there is. There is so much going on in the Cardano ecosystem, but that's all the time we have for today. I hope that you got something out of the video. There's so much to learn. There's so much to see. We're turning from a little bit of a winter bear market. I can see the structure changing more to a spring. You know, maybe we're in the beginning of a bull market. And so if that's the case, then there is going to be a ton of new stuff happening all the time. Okay, so best of luck with your discovery and your journey into this space, right? Stay safe, measure twice, cut once. Slow and methodical wins the race here. Take your time, do your research, right? Do not hastily move into anything. Really discriminate everything that I've said in this video in your own research. Take your time, enjoy the test nets, right? Things are happening fast, and slow down, okay? That could be the advice of a lifetime, right? That's what I tell myself all the time. It's what I would share with you here as a final word of the video, and stay tuned. We got some exciting stuff coming up. All right, cheers.